No, I do
Hot
too.
take. Hot take.
I do too.
Really? Really?
Yeah.
Hey, every once in a blue moon. I'm not the hot
Oh,
take
it's
guy,
live.
but
It's live. It's live. So we're live.
what's
Oh,
the good word, John?
We do this every week.
What happens is I'm back on my phone right now because there's some shit. So we had like a huge fire across the street from our building, and now it's been like jacking with our crap.
Yeah.
And then a lot of our offices have been taken up now with like these new VPs and shit coming in. So I had to figure out what I'm gonna do different. But anyways, welcome to the Jets Flight Squad, y'all. We got the full crew in here. DKBxJets. I got my boy Everything NYJ, aka Gino Italy Jet, and then we got Gunny Gumby, aka New York Jets Situation Report. We were just chopping it up about the Dalvin Cook news, right? I wanted to distance myself from this and just kind of hope from afar that we weren't, that we weren't gonna have to worry about this. Like, this has been the worst season for like trade rumors and all this unnecessary crap when it comes to these pickups. But uh, I do find it interesting. Obviously, he has a supporter in the building, Tyler Conklin. Conklin would love to see him in the green and white. We've talked about this before. Dalvin Cook would definitely be a strong addition. I would like to see what we have on our roster currently, but I'm curious, what do you guys think about that whole situation? Because when I heard about it, immediately my brain went to when Brees Hall shot down the Ezekiel Elliott rumors. And so I brought this up before. We didn't really chat about it too much, but there's a couple differences between Dalvin Cook and the Ezekiel Elliott situation, no doubt. But do you think Brees Hall still has the same sentiments? Like, fuck everybody that's not already in our uniform? Or do y'all see this maybe causing some issues?
Personally, I think it boils down to this, right? I think Dalvin Cook has been very vocal about, well, as of last week when he went on freaking the show he went on and stated he understands that, coming into some situations he might be running back 2 and he'd be willing to support running back 1, and he made it clear that, he would understand his role specifically to whatever team he goes to. Let's be honest, I think the only teams in the conversation right now are the Jets, the Dolphins, and some are saying the Patriots, but I don't buy it, but the Bills. And the only team between the Jets, the Bills, and the Dolphins that he would be RB2 is the Jets, right? So I think that was a direct shot out to understanding that, Brees Hall is special, and he can go ahead and do some things in this league that, few can. Yeah. So I think because he went out and made that statement, I think you look at a guy like a Brees Hall and he embraces it, right? I don't think Brees is afraid of competition, and I don't think Brees was necessarily afraid of an Ezekiel Elliott situation either. I think more so along with that was more along the lines of I guess the Ezekiel Elliott mentality of still being an RB1. I think that might have been more so what kind of offset him a little bit. Like, nah, this is his team. Brees knows this, and that might have rubbed him off wrong. But Dalvin Cook has already come out and made it known that, hey, he'd be more than willing to be RB2, to a team that's already got a stud running back in place. And of those 3 teams that he's been talked about, the Jets are the only team that has that stud guy.
I mean, it's not only that. What's really interesting about the running back, even as a whole in the NFL, it's getting very thin. I mean, there's like 3 or 4 running backs that could be good now. It's getting to the point where Cook can either be second, third. He's definitely not going to be a first. And even in some of these situations, I think it would be a great addition. And Dark, what is he saying? Serious question. Do you wear Jets clothing every day or only when you're doing videos? Oh, man.
It's tearaway attire. So once he's done with our show, he rips it off and it's a Red Sox outfit. And then when he's done with that one, he rips it off.
Right, well,
I'll tell you right now, I had dinner with Gino when I was in New York.
That's right.
In Long Island.
Right.
Yes, he always wears New York Jets attire. he can come up here and try to bullshit all he wants to, but my man always rocks something New York Jets. That's just in his nature. But yeah, to answer your question, Dark Soldier, yes, he does wear New York attire all the time. Like, people, there's no way you can deny he's a Jets fan. People everywhere that meet him know this guy's a Jets fan.
That's fire. Now I understand why she dumped your phone. 'Cause it makes a lot clearer sense
Oh
now.
man,
Bet.
dude. To answer your question, Dark, if you don't see what's on my wall, no, I don't wear anything like that on a regular basis. No. Okay, so yes, I wear all kinds of sports stuff all the time, Jets, whatever. I make it very well known that I'm different in the sports community, and I like to show it. So Gunny's right, Banks is right, and my wife gets very frustrated. So there you go. Um, gosh, that's awesome. All right, going back to the question. I mean, the running back room is getting very thin in the NFL all over the place. I mean, you can even Baltimore Eagles. Like, there's always a running back that's ready. And Cook, he is one of the best at his positions in the running back room to even do it. And I think for him that he wants to go to the Bills, he wants to go to the Dolphins, he wants to go to the Jets, even the Patriots. You just never know what's going to happen. He would have to be a running back too. Or at least maybe if someone gets injured, then he could progress into be a running back one. I think he's making it known, though, that he wants to either go to the Patriots or go to the Jets. I mean, it's been widely around social media that he wants to go to either place. I would welcome it. I know a lot of players would kind of rub people the wrong way with it, and I totally get that. But the more and more the running back room gets thinner everywhere, the more and more – hey, why not have Cook come?
I got a question for y'all. Do y'all think
Shoot.
Dalvin Cook really wants to be a Jet, or do y'all think this is another one of those Tyreek Hill situations where we're getting a lot of hype from it, and that he winds up just trying to get the Dolphins to pay a lot more? I still think he becomes a Dolphin. I still think that's where he winds up going.
Too. Agreed. Yeah.
But do you think this is more of him trying? Because he could have signed already. Apparently, he's had offers from the Dolphins.
Right.
The Jets have talked numbers with him already.
And Patriots.
I'm not sure.
Patriots
and
too.
the Patriots. So, like, he could have signed already. I wonder how much of this is posturing in order to get him where he really wants to go, which is home. You know, he gets to go home and play with the Dolphins, who have a stacked offensive roster. Potentially go ahead and help that team, bring a championship to his hometown of Miami. I think he becomes a Miami Dolphin, and I think a lot of this could be posturing. But do you think there's genuine interest by him to be a Jet?
No, there's not. I don't think so. I mean, I think this is all just hype because I really think he wants to get a contract from the Dolphins. Cook's not stupid. Look what he's done on social media, all of it. He has been very good at it. He's very good at that game right now.
Yeah,
I think he ends up with the Dolphins, and I think he ends up with a big contract with the Dolphins, and I think he does go home. He's not going to go to the Bills and play with his brother where he could be behind him. No, he's not going to do that. Is he going to go to a Patriots team that, doesn't know what they're going to do with their quarterback? He says he wants to go to a winning team. And I think the Jets are the better option, maybe with the Bills, but Dolphins, they got to figure out that quarterback issue. But I ultimately think he is going to the Dolphins.
I would say is genuine. I think it's a cop-out. I think the answer is yes or no. I do think the interest is real, right? You're talking about a top 5 defensive unit. Nobody still thinks they'll drop out of top 10. From an offensive perspective, you fall in love with a guy like Nathaniel Hackett, who's an OC who has made his living in building effective run games. And then you see Keith Carter there. You take a look at the offensive line and what it could be. I think a lot of what he sees there looks great. And we're probably arguably in the best, not best in the division. I forgot what the hell I was even going to say there, but we're arguably one of the best teams to go out there and reach the Super Bowl in the AFC. So if that's what his goal is, you look at the New York Jets, that looks tantalizing, but realistically, I think he's also, I think that DeAndre Hopkins like combo that he wants, I think that's something that he thinks could be feasible as well. That's just not going to work with the Jets. So that's probably ultimately how he ends up with I'm thinking the Patriots, realistically, I think they come in and surprise and make like a weird move. But yeah, I don't end up seeing him in the green and white this season. Plus on a 1-year rental, I'm always curious about having a Super Bowl will be great, but then you don't want to end up being like a Rams team that falls into the tank, the very following year.
Sure. Yeah. I agree. Man, it's tough.
What about D-Hop?
Because what do you mean for the Jets, D-Hop?
Yeah,
To go to the Jets?
yeah.
No, I can't see it. And if it would have to be an interesting because he's a free agent, but well, I mean, unless you get rid of Corey Davis and Mims, then he would be a good second, right? I mean, but what kind of D Hop are we going to get? He's caused a lot of issues with the Cardinals. He's got to bounce back really nicely. I think he's going to be a threat on either team. He's going to be a threat no matter what. But can he be that old D Hop guy? I think I agree with Dark Soldier. I would take Cook over D Hop because I think even with these surprising guys, our last three, Cap, Brownlee, and Gibson, I mean, they're coming along pretty well. They're out to steal a spot. But you never know what's going to happen with Brees. Are we going to have confidence in Carter and Knight? Is he going to take up that second spot? There's a lot of uncertainties in that running back room, and I would take Cook over Diop. But what are we going to get? What kind of Diop are we going to get?
If the option was on the table, I'd take Hopkins, actually. Certified hands, right? I don't think he's had a season with a catch rate under, I want to say it's like 88%, if I'm remembering correctly. So I think having, and the thing is, we have to get this idea out of our mind that D-Hop is still in his prime. He's injury seasons. I think he had the suspension for the performance and hadn't spent drugs. So when I look at him, I just look at a sure-handed possession receiver. He's going to move the chains consistently for us. He'll occasionally break off a couple big plays down the field for us, but you throw him into the mix at receiver, it's going to be the best weapon across from Garrett Wilson that you'll be able to provide, which is going to open up even more opportunities for everybody else. So you're turning him into a role player at this point, but I'd take him over Cook because I take a look at the running back room. Israel Abanikanda has he has pretty much all of the same traits that Breece Hall has. He's just not as proven effective as Breece Hall is. Michael Carter, we've seen what he's done. I think he is a role player in the NFL, but we've seen him kind of overachieve that. And then we've seen Bam already put up a couple 100-yard performances behind a banged up offensive line. I wish we could have seen him during these OTAs, but I take a look at the running back room and I say you can kind of replicate that production more so than what we can in the receiving room.
So y'all would prefer to have D-Hop over Dalvin Cook?
I'm taking Hop over Cook.
I'm taking Cook over Hop.
Man, I think if I had to pick one, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I think I would take D-Hop over Cook too. I like our wide receiver room a lot, but the fact of the matter is D-Hop would be probably borderline great, if not elite, wide receiver too. And I think Davis and Allen Lazard both do a lot of the same things, right? So to me, letting go over Davis, especially if he's not wanting to go ahead and restructure that contract a little bit, makes sense in that case. You bring in the D-Hop, who I think to me is legitimately a number two, right? Him alongside of Garrett Wilson is going to cause problems. Allen Lazard can replace a lot of what Corey Davis did. As for Dalvin Cook, man, the metrics to me, man, just seeing the decline from last year in terms of what he should have got versus what he did get is kind of concerning. The offensive line we're hoping is at least a top 10, top 15 unit, but we don't know for sure, right? In terms of run production, the Minnesota Vikings offensive line was a top 10 unit last season. Big gaping holes, man, big gaping holes. And I don't know. I think for me, I think I've jumped on the train of like, man, I think I would do D-Hop only because talk about stretching the field, what it could do for the running backs we already have in the locker room. Because now it's not just Garrett Wilson, D-Hop on the other side, Allen Lazard. That's a scary wide receiver room. If we had to pick just the one, if we get either or somehow and they wind up becoming a Jet, I am not going to cry about it or complain. I promise you that. But I'm also been the person that says, like, if we don't get either one of them, I'm also not going to complain or cry about it. I like what the running back room looks like and wide receiver room looks like. So to me, these are just freaking sprinkles on top, right? Like sprinkles on top of the cupcake or ice cream, whatever you want to look at, either or. But I think, I've come around to like, man, I think D-Hop opens up more for that offense in terms of the running backs and Garrett Wilson. What Alan Lazard now becomes an elite wide receiver 3. Like I like what that does in terms of pushing down the wide receivers down to the depth chart a little bit behind Garrett Wilson. And it seems like Corey Davis is not too keen on taking that pay cut, right? So that's starting to make me kind of annoy me a little bit since he hasn't really produced to the level of his contract. And this is supposed to be a team guy who I think at this point, you know what I'm saying, like, you kind of owe us something, bro. Like, you've either been injured or been dropping passes. We know what you're capable of when you were in Tennessee. We get that, but we haven't seen that here in New York. But, yeah, man, I think I've jumped on that train of I think I would take D-Hop over Cook. But I wouldn't be upset with either or neither, if that makes any sense.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm the same lines of that with that as well.
Yeah, I think to me it just makes sense. Hopkins will bring a bigger impact over the course of the entire season. Cook just kind of feels like I know essentially he'll be RB2 if Breece Hall actually comes back to form anyways, but he just kind of feels like a I don't know, like a substitute teacher or something. Like he's
or like the
yeah, like he's
the principal.
He's just kind of
coming in,
filling a roster spot. Like you don't, I expect things from him for sure, but like ultimately, I mean, if he hits over 500 yards, I'll be happy. I'm not expecting 1,000-yard season from him. And I don't know. Either way, I think the cap number is what probably scares me most because I just know he wants some unreasonable asking price for running backs in this day and age. And I've seen some of the other options out there. I would take a flyer on a guy like a Kareem Hunt instead.
Right. I that's one of the or Forte. I would do either one of those guys.
Yeah, I think there's more. That's probably the smartest way I could put it. D. Hopkins would bring us the biggest impact in our wide receiver rooms in terms of his skill set. And then as Gunny was mentioning, lowering everybody else in the totem pole, right? I think you shore up the receiver room without a doubt with a move like that. There's more options to replace the same level of productivity from signing a guy like Cooks, and you're probably going to save money either way.
That's actually a very good point. I keep forgetting Kareem Hunt is still out there.
Yeah. I mean,
and I'm sorry, I think Kareem Hunt's a better blocker than Dalvin Cook too. That could go a long way.
And I'm pretty sure he offers more in the receiving game, doesn't he? Doesn't he statistically? Yeah.
Statistically speaking, yes, he does. So I'm actually. Why is he still out there? Kareem Hunt, to me, I thought would have already been picked up.
So from what I saw, the reports from damn, I forgot. Who did he just leave? I wanted to say the Chiefs so bad, and I feel like that's not it.
Browns.
Yeah. So the reports were that the Browns felt like he lost a step, and then of course he had his lowest output since he's been in the league. And then they had a guy or two step up in that running back room. So I think people are concerned with him hitting 28 that he's lost that elite step that's made him a difference maker.
And they drafted a guy too in the draft, and they like him over Hunt.
Yeah.
Right now.
He's worth the risk to me, though. I'm pretty sure you can get him for 2.2.
Yeah, 2.5, something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just shocked Melvin Gordon's still out there. To be honest.
I'm not. Melvin Gordon.
I'm not. Yeah, he's
after he fed it, especially after he fed into the whole shit about not doing anything and winning the Super Bowl. I was like, you're toast. Yeah.
See in the XFL, maybe. Who knows?
Yeah, nobody smart says stuff like that. To Dark Soda's question, though, and then we'll kind of dive into this. I don't forgot the whole topic of the thing as underrated players.
Jets, underrated players.
Yeah. So which room do you guys think is better right now? The wide receiver, running backs.
As of right now, as it stands.
Yeah. Right now, no additions.
Wide receivers. Hands down.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I think you bring in you got proven playmakers in Garrett Wilson, Corey Davis, freaking Alan Lazard, Mecole Hardman. Like our number 5 wide receiver is Randall Cobb, who was a stud in his day, right? And he's I think 32 years old, still has a little bit left to give. Our wide receiver room really doesn't have a weakness, if you want to say there's a weak point. Like, you don't want to put this guy in the game when the game's on the line. All those guys can make plays. And I think having a guy like an Aaron Rodgers literally elevates their ability to make plays. because they'll be getting accurate passes thrown their way, right? That helps a lot. But yeah, without question, man, the wide receiver room is definitely better than the running back room. I see you, Dark Souls. He said exactly why you take Cook. All right, well played, guy. Well played. That was a setup.
Nah,
That was a setup.
I knew that argument was coming, but
Yeah,
nah.
I knew he was gonna say that. Yeah,
I stand
he
on my
got me.
argument. You
I
can
stand on mine too.
I stand on my argument. The reason why running backs aren't valued the way they used to be, and it's kind of coming back, but people are people have to have a little bit of forethinking, right? If you go, even if so a round one running back ends up being in the top 10 automatically across the board for running back contracts. You take that risk for a guy with elite traits that you can maximize over the course of the first 4 to 5 years, technically 6. If people want to get crazy with franchise tags and all of that, and then you just keep churning those guys out. You invest a round 1 pick, you get a bunch of day 3, day 2 guys or whatever to finish rounding out your roster. They rinse and repeat. You can. Bam Knight shouldn't have been able to do what he did last year.
Right,
100 yarders
Facts.
with the roster that we were pouring out back then. I remember as soon as it happened, we had guys saying, "Cool, we have a potential running back 1 in case shit goes down next year." So like, none of that's going to change. Michael Carter, I won't say he has to get better than what he showed from like a physical standpoint. I just kind of expect it. So I mean, I don't know. A lot of people still seem to be high on Travis Dye, who picked up out of USC. Like, it's a lot of ways to go out there and get that running back room to produce. It's a reason why Miami, their running back room doesn't look great. Having Dalvin Cook over there would be fine, but they have a room full of crazy goddamn beasts over there in the running back room.
Yeah, I agree.
So it is what it is. I stand on my argument. D-Hop's the way to go.
Yeah, again, man, D-Hop stretches the field, man. Like, you put the pressure on. You can't load the box. You can't load the box if you've got Garrett Wilson, D-Hop, Allen Lazard out there. You just can't do it. You're going to get cooked by one of those guys if you do it, right? Your third best DB is not going to match up well against Allen Lazard. Not many teams have that much depth at the cornerback position like the Jets do, right? Like, you're going to go ahead and have to keep a safety out there to go ahead and assist on one side or the other. That makes it a lot easier for freaking the running back room to go ahead and get into the second level. And that's what you look at when you bring in a D-Hop. It's not even that he'll probably make more plays than a Dalvin Cook would, but D-Hop opens it up for other players to make more plays on the offense. And that's what I'm looking at. I just look at the value in terms of return on investment. And I don't care if D-Hop is not a 1,000-yard wide receiver. I do care that other teams are going to be afraid of him, and that means freaking Breece Hall can go ahead and add another 200-300 yards to his resume by the end of the year. Maybe it's Michael Carter. Maybe it's freaking Tony Conklin. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe it's Conklin. You don't know. But I think at the end of the day, because he's on this roster, you're always going to have to respect what he can do. And sorry, you also got to worry about Garrett Wilson on the other side. And then wide receiver 3 can be a combination of McCall Hardman, freaking Allen Lazard, freaking Randall Cobb, who can go ahead and destroy you in the slot. Like, it's a horrible nightmare for defensive coordinators, I think, because you don't want to get beat by big plays, which means you got to take away the pass most times, which is going to open it up beautifully for the run. And Breece Hall can make a lot of people pay doing that. So I look that way, man, in terms of the bigger picture. And I think Cook brings value. I'm not saying he doesn't, but in terms of if we had to make one move between these two guys, I'll take D-Hop, bring Kareem Hunt in on the cheap on the back end. You know what I'm saying? If we need to. Whereas there really isn't another D-Hop available in the wide receiver market, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, for sure. So let's flip it. I was thinking about this over the weekend when we was chatting a bit. So most underrated players, I feel like I've seen at least every name on like a list like this at least once. But offensively, so no starters, but basically second string and beyond. Who do you guys think is going to be our most underrated player?
You said no starters?
No starters.
What about third string?
Yeah. Anybody second string and after his game.
Oh, Carter 2, cornerback. Underrated for me. That's one of them for me.
Damn, bro. Underrated. Not on our starters.
Carter 2 cornerback can be a starter, like a regular starter
In the
for
league.
someone else in the NFL.
Technically, he is a starter though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's our
but-
starting slot. That's
yeah,
true.
but I'm talking about like to be a second and first. I think he has that potential, but he's third for us. You know what I mean?
I'd still call him a starter because he's our starting slot receiver, right? When it's time for him to get in there in that slot role, like he's on the field. Somebody coming off the bench, man. Personally, it's gonna sound silly, but I'm gonna say Jermaine Johnson. I'm gonna say Jermaine Johnson because he's coming off the bench, right? And for me, I love the kid, man. Love the kid at Florida State. I watched his tape when he was freaking at JUCO. You know what I'm saying? I watched that whole documentary, man. This is a kid who works hard, has been hungry and earning it year in and year out. And I think he's a little bit undervalued. I think JJ, given more reps, he's already, in my opinion, one of our better, well-rounded pass rushers, effective in the run game, and can cause pressure after the quarterback. You saw what he did against Josh Allen last season. Loved it. I think underrated. It's Jermaine Johnson, man. I think you give that guy Carl Lawson stats like starts, and bro, I think he can go ahead and wreak havoc. I really love JJ, man. Maybe it's the fan in me. I love the guy. I really love JJ. I think he's underrated in terms of coming off the bench for the Jets.
I think for me, that's my defensive guy. But I think offensive guy, I think we haven't seen the blossom of the tight ends, and I think Uzama. I think when we have a great quarterback here, I know Uzama's listed as what, our second guy, maybe third. He's not our first. Conklin's our first.
Yeah.
So I think with a better quarterback and with a better, because we've got a better offensive line coach now. We have a better OC in my personal opinion. I think Uzama is gonna blossom this year. I think he's underrated. You saw what he did with the Bengals. I think he's a player to watch for, especially with Ruckert the way he's been lately.
Fair play.
What about you, DK? Who's your guy?
Defensively, it was definitely going to be Jermaine, but to keep things different, I guess, I would probably I want to say Bryce Hall so bad every time, but he's fallen. He's fallen from grace. He has fallen from grace. So Brandon Echols will be my guy. I think our secondary outside of I don't think it's too much of an argument. You just have too many guys on the defensive line, but arguably our strongest position is secondary. Brandon Echols is a guy kind of had that trial by fire experience. He was able to go out there and come out ahead of things. And he's handled the transition from like a starter to a key backup player much better than Bryce Hall has. And he's still done well for himself. I know he has that 1 game suspension this year for like the driving accident or whatever the hell he ended up getting himself into last year. But he's a guy I think legitimately he shows all of the physical attributes we've seen at the combine. The speed and everything was on tape. He has great recovery ability. And we've seen him get his hands on the ball. So being able to come in and handle a guy's backup slot or their backup boundary receiver, I think puts him in a much better position to continue to hone his skills. Maybe he can take over for DJ Reed down the line. But he'd be my key role player on defense. And then offensively, it's tough. I wanted to go with Izzy too, but I'll go with somebody that actually took the field in Jeremy Ruckert. I think he legitimately finds a way to effectively replace CJ Uzama as the number 2 tight end before the season's over.
That was my second guy. Was Ruckert.
Best
honestly,
blocking
bro,
tight end arguably on the roster already. And
I think he runs cleaner routes than freaking TJ Conklin, bro. I think he runs cleaner routes than TJ Conklin. I think the biggest hindrance to this dude was the fact that he didn't get his nose into the playbook early enough in order for him to grasp it, not to mention the complications of Michael Fleury's freaking playbook. I think that I think that with freaking Nathaniel Hackett, who's going to go ahead and put his players in the best position for them to succeed because he's been here before, he's done this before. I think you can see Rucker potentially, like, call me crazy, man, he could potentially become the number one guy by season's end. I like the way he runs routes, bro. The kid's got nice hands, and he's a willing blocker, bro. He loves to get in there.
He's great in the red zone too.
Great in the red zone. Bro. Like I don't know, bro. Like he was my other guy, but I thought that's a little bit of a hyperbole because he's like go from the third tight end all the way up. Right? Is he really underrated?
He really could,
though, bro. Like
I mean, I'm with you on that, but like, I just see Conklin going down and Uzama and Rucker going up because, I mean, Rodgers really values that veteran tight end presence. He's always had it his career. And I think that's where Uzama's going to come in, and he loves the young guys like Tunyon was over there. And that's where I think Rucker is going to come in. So I think that's what's going to happen eventually. I'm not saying Conklin is a bad tight end, but the way that Hackett values his tight ends and Rodgers values his tight ends, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a big problem.
I only don't say CJ because I think the evaluation I had when we picked these guys up still holds true. Tyler Conklin right now is probably still the best route runner, although I think Jeremy Ruckert is there, and we'll see once we can get him some more on the field. Tyler Conklin's the best receiving option. CJ Uzama is just the best all-around tight end in terms of being able to block, be able to run routes. He's effective in the yards after the catch. Still a mismatch option with the size speed, but he's not going to get any better. And to be honest, I think his best season, he still was just under 700 yards. I think he probably replicated what like Tyler Conklin did, right? So we're still not talking about like a Travis Kelce type guy, which is perfectly fine. With his best seasons still are definitely up there in the ranks of the tight end group. But Jeremy Ruckert, he just has he's been like the most underrated guy, even going back to Ohio State. I remember the catch rookie season. And then, of course, he had all of the other weapons, Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, them bringing in Marvin Harrison Jr. Like, he was never going to be a go-to guy within that offense. And I would argue to a lot of people, even with the way Mike LaFleur was running his offense and kind of like the favoritism and stuff that it seemed like was going on to a certain degree, if he wasn't dealing with the plantar fasciitis for 90% of that season, I think we would have seen him on the field for at least 3 more games.
Yeah, I think he's just waiting to blossom. I really think Ruckert is waiting for his opportunity and waiting for the right timing. That's why I think when it comes to preseason, we're going to see a lot of them, and then it's just only going to give him his flowers, and it's going to go up from there.
Yeah, I'm hyped for it. Jeremy Rucker's my guy. They need a betting favorite definitely for like oh wait, do they? Is most improved player like a fan thing, or is that an actual betting category? I feel like that's an award that they gave out.
Well, I thought like in the organization they do that.
For what?
That might be what it is. Most improved player.
I don't
most
think
improved player.
Exactly.
No, that's an NFL thing. Most improved player is an NFL award.
That's what I thought. Because didn't
we're talking about like all the NFL or betting? We're not talking about betting, right?
Shit, both, I guess. Most of the awards you can bet on, if not all of them.
Oh, I was talking about like team organization, like NFL. I was talking about. Like,
I got you.
Bets, like
I got you.
Bets.
Yeah, I just looked it up. Nah, he's right. So it's most improved player. It's a team award. In the NBA, they have a yearly award. So the NBA has like a most improved player of the year award.
That's what I thought.
But in the NFL, it's per team.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Got you.
Cool.
Well, damn, he might not even fit that category then, because it's not like, I don't know. I'm sure there's thresholds.
Yeah,
but a lot of guys can bounce back.
Yeah. Exactly. A lot
of guys on our team can bounce back. I mean, I really have a hard time believing Laken Tomlinson and Jordan Whitehead can't play football anymore. You know what I'm saying? When they became Jets. And those guys were borderline Pro Bowlers. Tomlinson was a Pro Bowler. Like, I think we should see the biggest – if someone's going to win that award, taking a step forward, it should be one of those two guys because they played so bad last year.
Or Lawson. if he steps up, Lawson.
Well, but I think
I
Carl
don't think
Lawson
he'll
last
get
year-
it.
I don't think he'll get it because I think
Yeah.
Carl Lawson last year had what career high in sacks at 7.
I'm talking about in
He's
the running. I'm talking
second
about
highest. I think he
get
had 8.5 before.
8.5
but
before.
like in that group.
he's still above average. I mean,
He's still
overall,
well
when you
above
take a look at
average.
the edge rushers in the league, he still did above average. So unless
He
he
was
does
also a
something
top-
crazy,
A top 10 guy in pressures too. So like,
Yeah.
he would have to. I mean, to win that award, bro, he would have to put up like shit,
18 sacks.
18. You know, you're talking about stupid numbers.
Yeah.
For him to win that award.
Hopefully he does. I know
I mean, I would love it.
Harlan was
I think anybody would love
mentioning
it. I think anybody would love it for sure.
Clemens would be more of a DT. Yeah, Michael Clemens is a guy I really want to see this season too.
Dude, I want him to like just manhandle some people. Especially the Patriots. I just want to see him manhandle some people.
I remember, I think it was on one of the Thursday Thick of It shows, and I remember them chatting about him a little bit. And I think Gunny was the one who mentioned, he was like, the scariest dude in the NFL just got scarier. 20
Yeah,
pounds of
Clemens,
extra muscle in a
bro.
couple months is dumb, because the guy had like 0 fat before.
Right.
And I've seen the pictures. He looks jacked up. We've had a
looks-
lot of guys actually have a lot of transformations this season too.
Right.
I've seen
Carl
Alan Lazard's
Lawson,
new pick.
JJ.
Alan Lazard.
JJ
looks fucking
dang.
jacked, bro.
Oh,
I'm like,
God, I'm excited about
yo,
JJ.
these dudes is bro. These dudes is built different this season, and it's muscle.
Am I tripping, or have we not ever like? I don't recall, anyways. I know like I was super late to actually like seriously paying attention to the team, but I don't remember any other off seasons where we've had like just whole groups of people just
I don't remember.
beefing up, slimming down, like whatever it is. We haven't really had transformations from what I remember since actually paying attention to the team.
It's
Like, we
usually
might hear one or two.
guys. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? They do their,
Yeah,
but this is like team wide, bro.
Yeah.
Offense,
Hey.
defense. These guys have taken their bodies to a whole other level.
Aaron Rodgers effect.
That's facts. Hey,
I
you
mean,
wanna play with the GOAT,
we
gotta
had
step
it
our
even
game up.
before him.
Aaron
Yeah.
Rodgers effect. He's holding everybody accountable. You want to win a Super Bowl? Let's get this shit going here.
I'm gonna say it's the Robert Saleh effect, because he was out here looking yoked up too.
Actually, true. When he was golfing, my man was at that golf tournament, bro. I was like,
Bro,
God damn.
Salah could be a linebacker in the
He
NFL.
could be.
I mean,
Hey,
let's
throw
be
on the
honest.
pads, coach.
Is-
Just go
isn't
out
that
there,
what
man.
he
Throw
used
on
to
the
play?
pads. Yeah, linebacker in college.
Yeah.
He played DN
So-
and linebacker. Yeah, he was both.
Yeah, I'd be cracking. It made. Damn, what was it? Was it the Flight 23 doc? They had the video of it wasn't White Cotton. Oh, it was Ulbrich. He was doing the D-line drills with him, and he was trying to stop a guy from like running him over, and got ran over anyways. I was like, you probably should have had Salah in there, because you had no legs to stand on, my man. I love it. I love.
Wait,
to
y'all were
see it.
talking about Hard Knocks. Did Hard Knocks say something? Are we getting it?
Nah.
So I was talking about this earlier. So we're in the running for it, and we might have to be forced to do it.
God damn it, man.
So the Jets came out and said that we are prepared to be forced to do it, which sucks. So we'll see what happens.
Son of a.
We are one of them, though. Thanks, Porto.
Hard Knocks, an invasive species.
We're gonna be forced. Yeah,
I know we are. I really do think we are.
I feel like it's coming, because there's no reason when there's 4 other teams for you to consider as
to be
well
doing
for
it.
it to take this long.
They want the
Yeah.
Jets so bad. They want
Yeah.
the Jets so bad, and they've been fighting the good fight. But I've been saying it, so I'm like, I think we're going to be
We
forced
are.
to do it.
Oh yeah.
But bro,
No one wants
that's
to do it
frustrating.
No one wants to do it anymore, though. That's
It's
the thing.
like,
Detroit wants to do it.
Well,
The Lions were like, hey, we'll
Detroit
do it
wanted
again.
to.
They were
Yeah.
like, yeah, we'll do it again. And we're like, yeah, go. The Lions want to do it. Go do a part 2 of. But HBO wants the Jets. They're like, no, we know if we get this, bro, like it's going to be seen literally by the entire NFL. One, the Aaron Rodgers effect, like you said. So not only are Jets fans let's be honest, we're gonna be mad about it, but I'm gonna watch. I'm definitely
I'm
gonna
gonna
watch.
of course.
But Packers fans are going to watch. It's going to be national football. Like it forces national football fans and to focus on the Jets. So they want it because they can see.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
I hate it.
Detroit said no. That's what I
hate
thought.
I don't want to do it.
I know. From what I remember, it was Detroit. I know there was definitely another team that was like, let's run it, run it back. Nope. So either way, there's other teams.
No, I haven't heard any team that said yes.
I don't know.
Detroit has. Detroit has. Their coach. Their coach even said it when he was freaking doing an interview. Shit, like 4 weeks ago. He said they had fun doing it and they would welcome them back in his building. That's what he said. He said they had fun doing it. We welcome them back. Our fans love the ability to go ahead and see how we operate behind closed doors. And he even said, and for people to see what my coaches are doing out there to go ahead and get these guys ready was a pleasure. We would love to do it again. Like I was like, okay, great, do it.
Let them have it. Yeah.
Do it. They can have it. But HBO wants the Jets.
Yeah, right now
HBO wants the Jets.
It just sounds like little kids to me. They're just like persistently bugging the shit out of you until you say yes.
I mean, I think Cleveland would be a good option though too. I think both would be Jets or.
So Cleveland wants to do it. I think Cleveland is the other team that wants to do it, but I think the Deshaun Watson thing is still very much.
I don't think they were eligible either, right? I think they.
They're one of the 4 teams.
They were one of the 4th team though. There was
Lions, they're one of the 4 teams.
Cleveland and there's an AFC team. Now it's not New Orleans. That's NFC.
That's facts.
It's not Patriots.
It's the Bears, Jets, Saints, Commanders, and Jets.
There you go. I was thinking of Bears, but it's not an AFC team. Bears would be interesting.
Yeah, I'd watch the Bears one.
I watched the Bears. All the stuff that they did in the offseason, I watch it. Fields is going to take a step this year. He ain't messing around this year.
Yeah, I don't think he has much of a choice.
Well, I mean, when you don't have Aaron Rodgers in your division, that's a little bit of and he's got a team now. But what's going to be disappointing for the Bears is Claypool. That's going to be a disappointment.
You think?
He's not putting in the effort. It's been reported all around. He's just not. Having a struggle with him. There is a struggle in the Bears organization in that wide receiver room with Claypool, and I saw it coming because he didn't do it with the Steelers. They're taking a chance, and it's going to burn him, man.
I like Claypool.
Y'all think Tyreek Hill's going to get charged?
I'm not even. I've seen it, and I haven't looked into it enough to even say anything about it yet.
I'm indifferent.
So what was it, right? Somebody was like messing with him and he fucked him up or something like that?
Nah, so apparently what happened was somebody was telling him to get off of one of the boats. He was messing on somebody's boat on a dock at where the location that they were at. And one of the dock workers were like, hey, you need to get off of this boat. It's not your boat. And of course he was just like, I don't have to do anything. I don't want to. I'm Tyreek Hill. I can go ahead and buy this boat, this dock, you know what I'm saying? I can buy it. He just got really disrespectful. The dude still tried to do his job, and then the dude turned his back, you know what I'm saying, I guess to go get help or something like that, and he smacked him in the back of the head as he was finally getting off the boat. So
yeah, he's getting
charged. The dude originally didn't want to press charges, and then apparently changed his mind. He's pressing charges now. Everybody thinks it's just a money grab. He's just trying to get paid.
100%. That's a free check.
As a man, though, yeah, nah. If I can't beat your ass because I'm afraid of the repercussions, I would press charges.
The only thing that makes a man more sensitive than being disrespected is seeing his money get snatched in front of him.
Facts. So I don't know. I thought it would have been done with by now, but apparently it's still a topic being discussed.
Well, throw this into the hard knocks category. Like, to be honest, if you could force somebody and you know that check that the boatman is getting is like a guaranteed thing, like why are we dragging this out?
This is true. Yeah,
they're probably going to settle out of court, right? Yeah. That's probably the only way that he doesn't get hit with anything.
Right. All right, fellas.
Damn, let me get smacked in the back of the head. I'm be pissed about it. I'll be pissed about it before a couple $100,000 at minimal. Yeah. Like I think I'll be all right.
Hey, with my head,
I'll get over it.
I mean, with my head injury,
whoa! What is this? What is what is Dark Soldier saying? I'm assuming this is Tyreek and not the boatman.
This is Tyreek Hill. Yeah, no, this is Tyreek Hill. This is his third or fourth offense of physical assault. He broke his kid's arm, beat the crap out of his. I think it was his girlfriend at the time.
It was his girlfriend at the time.
It was his girlfriend at the time. Yeah. There was another assault too that he went through, and then now this. So
college,
this isn't like
right?
a first time.
Yeah,
in college.
Right? Yeah.
That was in college. Yeah. Those two plus this incident were all in the NFL, and he had a college issue as well. So like. I mean,
so this makes sense now. He just
it makes so much sense.
He's built for speed. His brain can't process the shit that's going on as quick as his body. So like if he hears some shit he doesn't like, it's just a quick smack up real quick. Like it's okay.
Just reacts.
Wow.
Yeah, he's a repeat offender. Hasn't changed, exactly. And the NFL really has done nothing to him about the other times too. At this point,
they never do. If you're in that upper category of production in the NFL, they can get too far.
They find a way to dismiss. Yeah, they find a way to dismiss things.
I mean, they got a past history of it, and they're just going to continue to do it.
That's not well. Hey, I mean, they was what's his name? I can't even remember his name any goddamn more. What was the Ravens running back dude? Slept his wife in the elevator.
Rice in the elevator.
Oh God, yeah.
Yo,
and he dragged his wife out.
I finally saw that video a couple months ago. I was like, this is crazy. This is the shit that got dragged out. This is nuts.
It was brutal.
Bro, and I think he only got off because they said he told the team or something in advance and they didn't do anything about it.
Yeah, but bro, his career died after that. Let's be honest. After that, he never recovered, bro. His career was a wrap. That was brutal, though, man. Watching that thing happen,
hard to watch.
It was full force, bro. She lifted off of the ground and then crumpled.
Straight rocked her, then dragged her out of the elevator, man. Like, yeah. And I was a big Ray Rice fan before that incident too, bro. But that was too much. That was way too much.
Puts for better or worse to the test. That's tough.
Facts.
Because I'm pretty sure she
hung around, bro.
I was gonna say she came out and was like defending him and stuff from what I remember. So
she was. So
she said, "Shit, I didn't bob and weave quick enough. It was my fault.
This is on me. I knew it was coming.
I dealt with this. Enough. I know how quick the hands is. I really should have, shut up and put up." Should have talked when the elevator was open. My mistake was being behind closed doors. That's tough.
Oh man.
Man, I could say so much more, but I'm not going to do it on live. All right.
The NFL is a beast. All
right, Jets, I got to jump off.
All right, guys. Here we go. Jets Flight Squad. See you next week.
Out.